Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. Honored to be with you today. I had a very full weekend, and I guess end of week going into the weekend that had some real treasures in it that I wanted to share with you. I went to see a short film about Fannie Lou Hamer. It's called Fannie. It was written, produced, and acted by Anjanou Ellis, directed by Christine Swanson, who also directed a new feature film called Albany Road that I'll tell you about in a minute. And Christine had actually told me before going to Albany Road, which I did the talkback for, go sit in on Fannie and then listen to the talkback there because it's going to be really special. Anjanou Ellis, the actress, was in conversation with Lisa Cortez, the filmmaker, and they were talking about this short film, but really about the life of Fannie Lou Hamer, who was a very so-called simple woman, strong woman from Mississippi during the time of the Civil Rights era, who went to register to vote in Mississippi, and as a result of attempting to register to vote, almost lost her life. She was beaten brutally by police and others, but police primarily for simply exercising her legal right to register to vote. And she went to, I believe, the 1964 Democratic National Convention with a busload of working women who were maids and sharecroppers and other roles, to stand up for the right to register to vote, the right to vote. And this film shows a 10-minute glimpse of her testimony, of Fannie Lou Hamer's testimony as executed by Anjanou Ellis. And it was just incredibly powerful to see. We always say, paint a picture with your words. And through her words, Fannie Lou Hamer described what had happened to her and how horrifically she was treated simply for wanting to exercise her right to sign up to register to vote. And in the talkback, there were many people who never heard of Fannie Lou Hamer. If I were to take a poll of you in the live audience now and anybody who's looking at it later on demand, I'm going to guess that many of you have never heard of her. But she was an important figure in civil rights history, standing up for basic rights. And we know now the Voting Rights Act, I think it was of 1964 or 65, I can't remember which was which, was to ensure everyone's legal right to vote. But it has been eroded in recent years, so nothing is promised, unfortunately, even in this democracy that is supposed to enforce some basic laws. Anyhow, my reason for bringing this up today is not so much about the inner workings of that speech or even the film. It was afterward in our conversation, Anjanou was describing why she has chosen to stand up for Fannie Lou Hamer and make sure people know about her, because she was such an important figure in American history. But as she talked about her experience of learning about her and bringing her story to life, Anjanou also described her condition as exhausted, not tired. So Fannie Lou Hamer is famous for the quote, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Many of you may have heard that quote, but not know who it's from. It's from her. "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired" is a quote from Fannie Lou Hamer. Anjanou Ellis says, "I am exhausted." And she said, being tired comes from effort. Exhaustion, at least the kind that she was feeling, comes when you don't even do anything, but so much seems to be done to you that, in this case, she's speaking about racism and sexism and the way that many people are seen and treated and considered that can cause pain and exhaustion. And she explored that a bit in describing her state. And I asked at the end of this talk back if I asked the filmmaker, Christine Swanson, I asked Lisa Cortez, although I don't know that she answered this, but Anjanou Ellis, I asked the question, how do you take care of yourself? Because storytelling, which I think is so incredibly powerful, is a way to help people to see things, to examine things, to consider things that might be hard to think about, that especially if it covers sensitive topics. But what about the storyteller? How does the storyteller take care of him or herself? And Christine talked about a conversation that she and I had, which is really about treating yourself tenderly, looking through a tender lens whenever you can, because it makes a difference. And Anjanou was really, I'm going to say, pained and not quite sure. You know, she described doing her best to care for herself, but there was this spiritual pain that was very, very real. And it brought me to, as I was contemplating this and just thinking about some of the things that that occur in our daily lives and how we deal with them, how we deal with the way that others see us and treat us, and how we find the fortitude to move forward anyhow. Someone wrote, yeah, we've heard that quote, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah, it's a really famous quote, but it's often disconnected from Fannie Lou Hamer. So I'm glad I could bring that to all of you, and so that you know where it comes from. And it's a powerful quote, but deeper is this sense of how do we care for ourselves? And I titled today's inspiration, Love Yourself Fiercely and Fully. And I want to challenge all of us to ask, do you do that? Do you love yourself fiercely and fully? And I'm going to say Fannie Lou Hamer, I'm going to bet she did. She loved herself and her family and her community so fiercely, so fully that she was willing to die in order to stand up for her community. This is the time of the woman. A lot of us, I've been claiming that way before the election and will continue to claim it. When we are in really terrible times, really trying times, I think this is when women need to step up and bring all of our nurturing, creative, strategic capabilities in order to help heal things. But are we taking care of ourselves? And are we looking to ourselves to acknowledge and fortify our strength? And I'm not sure about this. So I asked these questions. I wrote these at the top for this broadcast, and I'm going to ask them out loud to all of us right now. How often do you look to others to validate you? If you really think about it, how often do you wait for somebody else to say, good job, you're smart, you're great, you're beautiful, you're worthwhile? How often do you look to others to validate you? How often do you wait for others to treat you the way you want to be treated and feel sad, disappointed, or rejected when they do not? So this isn't a quiz. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand and count. I'm asking you to do it for yourself. How often do you wait for others to treat you the way you want to be treated and feel sad, disappointed, or rejected when they do not? How often do you allow others to hurt your feelings? Now, that's a tricky question. How can you prevent others from hurting your feelings? Well, even as I say, we should look at life and experiences, ourselves and each other with tenderness. That doesn't mean without strength. That doesn't mean without protection, self-protection. And so I ask all of us, isn't it time to stop looking outside for what we need in order to feel full? And what if you chose to love yourself first? Think about that. What if you chose to love yourself first? I think this is a powerful contemplation. And I just don't know how often we actually do it. Even those of us who consider ourselves super strong. I, for one, consider myself strong, capable, always ready to take on whatever the task is. And yet there's a tenderness, there's a emotional, spiritual fragility, let's say. And hi there to all you all who are joining Brain El Qasim. Hi there. Hello, everyone. Ask yourself these questions, and do you love yourself fiercely and fully? Did you do it yesterday? Did you do it the day before? How often during the day do you feel that you really tapped into an embrace of yourself as you are? Because we can be the most critical of ourselves. We often hold ourselves to a very high standard. I know I do. I grew up in a household where my understanding was excellence was the only option. Okay, so if that is your understanding, you are constantly reaching. Hi, hi, hi. You are reaching, reaching, reaching. Because if you don't, then somehow you're not getting to the level where you're supposed to be. Hey, hey, I'm saying hello to Elaine Honig. Oh, Elaine, Ilana. Hi there, Ilana Honig Rodriguez. How are you? Hello, everyone. Ask yourself this question. How often do you look outside for validation rather than looking to find it inside? So I learned more than 30 years ago, I started my meditation practice. And I learned a fundamental truth, which is God dwells within you as you. That divinity lives inside of us, as who we are, not as something for us to strive to be, other than striving to be the best you that you can be. So that notion of excellence, it is the excellence of tapping into the excellence of you, right? I see my friend Daryl is here. He's always doing that, reaching for excellence. No matter what is going on, reaching up, reaching expansively for excellence. Do you do that? And even if you do, because I do that, there are tender moments. The tender moments when I'm like, oh, when I can say for myself, when I feel like I need outside validation, but I learned through my spiritual practice that doesn't work. When you wait for somebody else to call you, when you wait for somebody else to give you a hug, when you wait for somebody else to do something to help make you feel better, chances are you are going to be disappointed. And that does not mean that other people are bad. That does not mean that people are anything. It just means you can't rely on other people to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. When you stop reaching out and turn your gaze inward and choose to see you and to validate you and to love you for you, your shoulders can relax. You're not waiting for somebody else to do anything. It's an amazing feeling, and it works. Now, looking in the mirror and accepting yourself, that's what it calls for. That is not easy. One of the exercises I do with my clients, public speaking clients in particular, but also just coaching clients, I invite people to look in the mirror. Stand, look in the mirror, look at yourself head to toe, slowly turn around front to back. And the best version of this exercise is if you do it naked. Yep, do it naked. Stand in front of the mirror naked. Only thing you have to wear if you can't see like me is your glasses. Other than that, nothing on. Full length mirror if possible. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. I love you just the way you are. Smile, true smile. I love you. Look at you. Look at those curves. Look at those blemishes. Look at whatever you see, I love you. I love you just the way you are. And when you do that through tender, loving eyes, you look at yourself and love yourself as you are. Actually, it makes it a lot easier for you to do whatever needs to be done to improve yourself. Because loving yourself the way you are does not mean that you couldn't or shouldn't do things that will improve your health, improve your capabilities, whatever it might be. When you love yourself, you want to do better for yourself. You want to improve. You want to strive for excellence. You want to be the best that you can be. When you love yourself, you don't necessarily go, okay, well, I give up. I don't have to do anything now because, hey, I love myself, so what? No, opposite. It's the opposite. There's somebody named Harriet who joined. All right. When you really love yourself, you want to treat yourself with tender love and care. For any of you who have children, think about it. You love them unconditionally. There is just nothing that you wouldn't do to make a child safe and happy and healthy. You treat them as precious. And even when they do something wrong, they're still precious to you. Is that the way you look at yourself? Do you treat yourself as precious? Or are you waiting for somebody else to do it? And if they don't do it, do you get mad at them and frustrated and angry and lash out and cry or scream or fight or retaliate? If you find yourself doing that, check yourself. Why do you need that other person, that other thing to do that for you? What if you did it for yourself? So let's look at the quote I found today. And if any of you want to join the conversation, go to harrietcole.com/inspiration, and you can pop in with me and talk about this very important subject if you'd like to participate. But let's go to the quote that I found. There are a lot of great quotes about self-love, by the way. This one is, "It is only when you have mastered the art of loving yourself that you can truly love others." This is powerful. It's by Robin Sharma. It is only when you have mastered the art of loving yourself that you can truly love others. Now think about that. We have watched so many movies and read so many books and just there are so many stories of friction in relationships of all kinds. And part of the friction, I believe, comes when you are not fully embracing you. If you don't do that first, then as you attempt to love others, you are looking for something in them that you don't have. You are placing upon them a burden that they could never fulfill, a responsibility they can't fulfill. How many times have we heard in love relationships, we often treat our partners the worst because the expectations are so high. We want them to do everything, and nobody can do everything for you, right? So if they can't do everything for you, then what happens? Then you're disappointed, then you lash out. Now, by the way, that does not mean that partners get a pass for misbehavior. I don't mean that. But what is our role? So if you are broken, you're bringing a broken person to a relationship. If you don't know how to accept yourself for who you are, how are you going to accept somebody else for who they are? How are you even going to see who they are? There's so many things for us to think about. And by the way, my understanding through my lessons in my meditation practice, we're always working to be our best selves, right? It's an effort. It's an ongoing effort. That's why I call this love yourself fiercely and fully. It's a muscle. You're constantly working toward strengthening that muscle. And some days are going to be better than other days. But if you reset regularly, You practice meditation. That's what I do. You pray. You recenter yourself in some way daily and possibly throughout the day. Then what happens is you get to come back to center, come back to center. And what happens when you come back to center? You see more clearly. And so what I'd like to do now, we haven't done this in a long time. I'd like to do a mini meditation with you. If you would, so I'd like to ask all of you to just take about 3 minutes to do this. Wherever you are, put your feet flat on the floor and firmly push your feet into the floor as if you're pushing them into the ground. They're pushing them into the earth. If you have on shoes and you can take them off, do. If not, push your shoes into the ground. Imagine your feet planting themselves in the earth. And sit up straight, but have your shoulders relaxed. So often we scrunch up our shoulders. We hold a lot of tension. Let your shoulders relax. Put your hands with your thumb and forefingers touching on your knees. And if you'd like, you may close your eyes. And I want you to just breathe normally. Normally, but with a bit more depth, because what we have discovered is that many people breathe very shallowly. So breathe naturally, but with a little bit more depth, allowing the breath to move in and out of your body with ease. And as you breathe, notice how the air gives you life. The oxygen fortifies you as it moves in, filling you with energy as it moves out, clearing away anything that you do not need. So as you continue to breathe, I want you to envision a moment when you feel that you were truly loved by you. Maybe it's this moment that you choose to love yourself. What does it feel like? What does it feel like in your body to be filled with your own love? Breathe a little deeper. Breathe in love. Exhale love. Whatever you think that is, whatever that feels like, breathe it in and exhale it. When I do this, when I breathe in love and exhale love, I feel more relaxed. I feel taller. I feel like I've allowed more space for my lungs to take in oxygen. So breathe a little deeper. And slowly exhale. As you exhale love. And as you inhale love. So it's all goodness that is flowing in and out of your being. And it's all you offering that goodness to yourself. Now, I believe it's that connection with the divine that allows for the breath to move in and out, that allows for you to love yourself. You're loving your highest self, yourself that is reflective of divinity, reflective of God, reflective of the greatness of the universe. When you allow yourself to breathe in love and exhale love, you don't need anyone. Can you feel it right now? Your feet are firmly planted on the floor. Your body is erect and relaxed. You are fully present. You don't need anybody to hold you. You don't need anybody to cheerlead you. You don't need anything but you. As you see yourself with your eyes closed, what do you see? What do you feel? Who is this person who you are upholding right now? Who is this person that you're breathing love into right now? Who are you? And tell yourself why you deserve this love. Think of one reason. Why do you deserve to be loved right now? What's a good thing about you that you can hold up to the light and say, I deserve to be loved because. I deserve to be loved because. I woke up this morning and chose to take care of myself in this way, to be inspired in this way. I deserve to be loved because I intend to do something good with my day. I deserve to be loved because I'm making an effort right now to center myself. I deserve to be loved because I am one with divinity, and the pulse of my heartbeat matches that of those around me. I deserve to be loved. And very gently open your eyes. Do you feel anything? Do you feel that? Like for me, I literally feel taller. I'm already tall, but I feel taller. I feel a little tingling in my body, an awareness of paying attention to me. Do you feel that? You can tap into that at any time. And times that are good to tap into it are when you're feeling nervous, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling less than, when you're feeling disappointed, when you're feeling hurt, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling afraid. A lot of feelings come up, especially at this time of year. Feelings around family, feelings about the end of the year, about the future, about money. Right now, we're still in the midst of a lot of feelings about politics and the future of the world, feelings about family, feelings about love, feelings about health. There are so many reasons that we can worry. And I want to challenge all of us, instead of worrying, breathe. Instead of being consumed by something negative, trust yourself, love yourself, be quiet, and just be with you before you reach out to somebody else. I can tell you that reaching out to others in desperation or anger or fear or tremendous longing doesn't really work. It usually is it usually creates the exact opposite experience as what you want. It usually repels people rather than drawing them in. Hear me. When you reach out, think about your own life. If you reach out to someone because that I need a hug, I need this. I need you to do this for me, please, please, please. What you usually get is no, no, no. Exactly at the moment when you need it, you don't get it. And then you're mad. And then you point that finger at whoever it is that you tried to get it from and blame them. And I want to tell you, stop. Turn the finger around. Turn the embrace around. Hug yourself. Love yourself. Breathe. Meditate. Invite love into your being. Trust that you are enough. When you are full, when you love yourself, you can love others and they can love you too. When you are broken, it is hard to love yourself and it is hard for others to love you. It's hard for you to do good in the world when you're broken. So heal yourself. Love yourself fiercely and fully now, not later, right now. I promise you, it's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And it's ongoing. You can't do this and check, I did it. Now I'm moving on. It's not like that. It's ongoing. It's forever. Self-love, ongoing. Love yourself first, love others next. Love fully, you'll have a happier life. Choose love, you'll have a happier life. Choose love, you have a peaceful life. Not every minute, but if you choose it fiercely and fully, you can have it. Don't you want it? I do. Until next time, family, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.